Good day, everybody. It's a beautiful midsummer day. A balmy 32 degrees Celsius. The crops have kicked over. And here we are again with me, Looney Farm Guy, on Old Kiwi Farms. As I said, the rye is ready. As you can see, all of our other crops are tuned up and ready to go. There is one exception, of course, and I swear I passed by here and I didn't see these bales yesterday, but yet here they are. The amazing disappearing, reappearing bales, I guess. Now I'm curious to see. Oh, and it is silage, ready to go. Okay, well, we'll have to deal with that later. We had got a harvest to take care of. I have rented another combine. Hopefully this will be the last year I rent something. I didn't want to invest that much this year into a combine. I don't know. Maybe it might be a bad decision. I don't know. Here's our coffee. It is still growing. Will we? So it's only midsummer. We are on. Looks like the third, or maybe it's the last stage of growth. We might get coffee next on the last day of summer. What's our? So we'll just take a quick look at this coffee. Well, we still got the three. I mean, it says harvest is autumn. So we might be looking at a full coffee harvest next year if this turns out, because that would be awesome. We'll see what the yield is like too, right? Because I mean, we are fully fertilized here, and the prices, again, prices for coffee, because that kind of has a bearing, right? Last day of winter is the best. Generally, that's what this is saying. 1281. That's pretty good, if it turns out. So, anyways, I've asked the fine gentleman at the dealership there to park the harvester in the same spot last time because of the issue with the header not fitting through this. So they have, I guess, they have a way of doing it, so I don't ask questions. They are kind enough to do that. We have our vehicles set up. Of course, our truck and TARDIS trailer, and if you recall, with the adventurous wood chipping episode, we have the dolly, so we've hooked up the new deer to the with the dolly, and our old trailer there, the belly dump trailer, and off we go. We're gonna start on that field. That's the purchased field. We do have two applications of fertilizer on that one, so it will do better. Probably do better than any of the other millet. Although we do have a millet field that we planted. We'll see how that does in comparison to the one that we bought that was already planted. And yes, so, and of course, looking ahead past the harvest, we're going to merge those fields together. That's going to be something a little bit different and interesting again. And here we go. This time I went for it's a deer, of course. But this one I went for the optional large hopper, 22,000 liter hopper, and we'll see. It's always nice to have a little extra. Whoa, that's one tough mailbox, I tell you. It's always nice to have a little extra capacity when you got such large fields. I mean, we're getting to the point now where I have to start thinking about getting 2 harvesters and hiring a worker to run one of them. I mean, it's not impossible to do myself, as we've done. It takes a little bit, and we still have, as we sit now, we are not risking running out of time to we have a harvest window, but it's pretty broad. We have plenty of time. We're not losing a lot of. We're not. It doesn't look like we'll lose any crop this year to weathering or anything like that. So so it's maybe we'll see. We'll merge those fields. We'll see how our finances end up. I'm wow, really? Kaz, you KGW with your tree planting width. What was I saying? Oh yes, I'm. Did I go too far? Where did I go down the wrong? There we go. Talking and driving, dangerous. Yeah, so for income, we're obviously got 3 extra fields we're going to harvest, so that's going to add to the income. Rye, we will see what kind of yield we get with rye, because even as we sit right now, let me just take a quick look at rye. It's sitting at a good price, $1,300. That's like double what rice was when we had it at its best price, I think, if I recall. Unfold harvester, of course, because that's a thing. I don't know why. Okay, here we go. And away we go. It's millet time again. So, what the last harvester had? We had like 17,000 liter capacity, was it? Yes, somewhere around that. I think it was 17. So this is 22. Another 5,000 liters more. So when we're looking at the it harvesting and the amount going up, it's may appear like, oh well, that's not so great, but then we got to think it's filling up a larger hopper. I suspect it's going to take a little bit of time to unload too. If I recall, I have used this model in the past, but it's been a while. It is kind of nice to be able to go along and harvest a crop and not have to stop every 2 minutes to unload. Especially if you're getting some fantastic yielding material. If you're harvesting something like, which we haven't tried in this area, this particular map, soybeans. soybeans are typically a lower yielding crop, but a high payout. So I think we might. I mean, we have the option to. We have a few fields now that we are full. Okay, let's see what the dump out time is on this, and so yeah, we have a couple of smaller fields up by the farm there. We can run some alternate crops to just to see do yield comparisons or things such like that. The dump out isn't too bad. It's emptying out pretty quickly. Will take a minute though. It is a fairly large tank, but I think it's a little faster than the twin screw. Mind you, the twin screw's got 29,000 liter tank. Although I don't know if they're available in this in New Zealand. It might be difficult to get our hands on one of those. Not difficult to get John Deere or Kloss though. I mean, Kloss is. I mean, maybe a future us will. I mean, we're still looking at the nice Kloss top of the line is nearly $500,000. Now, I mean, we could do that, but that's. I think I might get fired for that. That's a pretty large investment for the kind of operation we're supposed to run here. So I think the lease cost on this is about 11 or 12,000. I mean, once we're done, I mean, we're going to be using it too, so there's an hourly cost and so forth. But the initial cost was about $11,000, and excuse me, plus operating costs. I mean, I think what did last year we pay for rental was. Now I don't remember. Hold on, I can look back on my records because we keep meticulous records. It only goes back. as I was saying, vehicle running, property maintenance. Where's the leasing? There we go. Yeah. So. Yeah, we can't. For some reason, yeah, we can't look that far back. But anyway, at least that's the Robert, our boss Robert, has all the information going back to where we started. I do not have that on hand. However, it was still a viable option to lease a harvester, instead of buying. Just adjust that header up a little bit. Yeah. So let's see. What did we get off of that? I guess we dump in two different. No. Let's go dump it off in that one and see what our total was for this field. It was 34-ish thousand liters. That's not bad. That's a fairly small field. See if I'm correct or not. And we might as well go. Oh, 35 and a half. That's decent for a field we pretty much only just basically put some fertilizer on. Now, it's so our some of the grass we missed looks like it's turned into hay. Kind of looks like straw, but we got some oat here. Oh, come on. There we go. You'd think I'd learn how to work the buttons, work the machinery by now. Let's drop a hay swath here, or straw. Keep calling it hay. I know we're maxed out on our silage bales, but the hay can sit here for a bit until we figure out what we do with the silage bales. We might and I'll see those were the big 75. We're not gonna do round bales anymore. That's all I gotta say about that. It's we can do Heston bales, which are big, the big square ones. I think we're gonna try those. They got a nice high density square bale. If we're gonna pick up straw again, and it is works way faster when you're those. I mean, you don't have to stop and dump it. That John Deere round baler would work great, but it took forever because I mean you have to. When it filled up, it wouldn't automatically eject, and that's the beef I have with most round balers is that the thing beeps away and it's like okay, and then if you don't do it right away and you miss it, you miss a bunch of just. Oh, what was that? A little Dukes of Hazzard action there. Roscoe Pico train. The Duke boys are at it again. That was my Dukes of Hazzard. I'm pretty sure just about, I mean, even if you're a young person, you know about the Dukes of Hazzard, the TV show. The one that destroyed like probably 1,000 Dodge Challengers. But it was one of my grandpa's favorite shows. Definitely the Dukes of Hazzard was his favorite, one of his favorite. The other one was the Lawrence Welk show, if anybody remembers that. It actually, you can still, they're still broadcasting, they're still showing episodes on the PBS, the public broadcasting station we get from North Dakota there. Rob might know the PBS station there. It's out of North Dakota. You might remember that. It's been there forever. That's where I first. They actually have some pretty decent programming. I must say, because. Oh, excuse me. Back. I'm just going to call my worker to give me a hand with this and get my truck over there. Yes, so PBS programming. Back when I was a young fella, that's when I was where I was introduced to Doctor Who. Because Doctor Who is a a BBC, British Broadcasting Corporation production. So obviously, the UK would have had that from the start. But here PBS bought different block. They buy these shows, and then they, if you know how a public broadcasting television station works, they buy content, and then they show it, and then they how they pay for it is they get donations from viewers like you. So they started running the Doctor Who series, and Tom Baker is actually my number one all-time favorite Doctor. Although some of the subsequent Doctors I do like. I didn't like all of them, but of course that's the appeal of the Doctor Who, shall we say, formula. I think that when they whoever, so I don't know who the let's say the author who came up with the character, who came up with the idea. I'm sure it was, well, I don't even know. Usually it's some book or whatever it's based on, but it could have been just somebody came up with this idea, which is fantastic because it's a great series, genre, kind of sci-fi. But the brilliant thing about Doctor Who is every once in a while he regenerates. It changes into somebody else. So they can run a series, and when they, it's kind of like the James Bond thing. I wonder if it's I wonder if just anyone's saying, you'd say, because James Bond, it's like there's been lots of different actors that have played James Bond. Well, same with Doctor Who, right? One particular actor will have a run, like say Tom Baker, and then I don't even remember who some of the names escape me right now. But I mean, when his time is up, the Doctor just regenerates, and they insert the new person that's going to be the next Doctor. It's brilliant. But I mean, I'm sure most of you have. So you say it's like, oh, well, that's cheesy, or oh, this is the. What's in there? Am I losing my mind? That's oat. 16. Oh, we only got 16 oats. Yes, of course. I'm talking. I'm not even thinking what I'm doing. Yeah, see that 16,000 only for oats. That's. Oh, of course, that was only that. Okay, so that was the field that we only got one round of fertilizer on. So we'll dump the oats. We got a little bit of oats. Got a little bit of a variety of product happening. As the most, I say most. A lot of the lot. Let's say I gotta make a generalized statement here, and it's definitely not gonna be not gonna apply to every farmer, but a lot of farmers don't just plant one crop all the time. They'll have a main crop, but a lot, well, some. It's not uncommon that a farmer will have a main crop and then have a something else that they've planted. It's a cereal crop, a oilseed crop, maybe some. I mean, I know my uncle, he had mainly corn, but he had some wheat as well. So it's yeah, it's kind of like, and I guess it's like the way I see it, and I mean, the reason behind it is you don't put all your eggs in one basket, is the expression. So you kind of spread it around. If you have if it's a bad year for, say, corn, but it's a good year for wheat, then you'll do okay in the wheat, and it'll kind of subsidize the not so good corn, sort of thing. That you kind of spread around. I don't know. I'm not. I don't pay attention to when. I mean, it's the prices for product, right? Corn sells it'll have its peak time of year, and then its low time of year, just like any other product. So I would imagine some grain would be have a good price at a different time than corn. Perhaps, I don't know. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's just a time of year. I mean, around harvest, of course, there's going to be a bunch of product ready. And then you got times of year where there's going to be a higher demand and less available. So I don't know. It's like a mutual fund. You spread it around a little bit, and some stuff does better and some doesn't. But you hopefully overall you do well. And that's my story. So here's the millet. Now this is a full on. We planted it, and it's got the full meal deal here. We got a little bit of weedage, but I don't think that. I don't know. I really haven't kind of noticed a huge hit on the. You know what? That's what we should do next year is do a little experimentation. I think we could cover. Oh, we're getting some good yield off of this. This is doing pretty good. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a little bit of experimentation here, I think. So we got the two smaller fields up by the farm. Or we can, you know what, to make it a little bit fair, we can cut this field, say, in half. We'll plant the same crop. We'll have the same. I wonder how we could do that. I'll have to think about it. We'll have to take the. Or you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna. So this year we didn't do any. We will keep track. This is millet, but we didn't do any weeding in here. Or spraying or anything. We just let the weeds fall where they may. And if we take a quick look, there's a spattering of weedage, just like everywhere else. And millet has turned out to be a decent. We got millet in here, right? So we. How are we gonna do this? We should take. We'll use. You know what? We'll do a little finagling around here. We'll leave this one for now. We'll jump in our. We'll jump in. No, I don't want this. Oh, it's so early still. Sorghum, 29,000 off that field. Not too bad. That's, I think, our first sorghum harvest. We haven't planted sorghum before. Seems to be decent yielding. So we're gonna keep track of how much millet we get off that one field. I'm gonna write it down. We're gonna keep track of it. And next year, we're gonna plant millet in there, and we're gonna go gung ho on it. We're gonna spray it for weeds. We will spray it for weeds, and we will see what how much more yield, if any, we'll get off of that field. So that's what we're going to do. So now, oh, what's this? Where are we? We are. Oh, this is the rye. Okay, that scared me for a second. I thought our coffee was ready. It's over there. It's not ready yet. I thought it kicked over, but it might yet tomorrow. So that's a good sign. We're gonna Juan Valdez the crap out of this place. If we even get some coffee, because that's gonna be. I really want to do coffee harvest. That's. Speaking of coffee, excuse me while I take a sip. Now, I'm going to say something that might anger many coffee aficionados, or not. They may agree with me. Now, I haven't always been a coffee drinker, but I have been for the last 35 years. Probably in my early 20s, I kind of started appreciating the benefits of coffee and the taste, like, you know, the different. At first, it's coffee, right? But I mean, eventually, you start developing a taste for certain kinds of coffee. I am not a black coffee drinker. If it comes down to, if push comes to shove, as it were, and I had to choose between, I'm cream and sugar. I've backed off. To start with, it's like, oh sure, bring on the sugar, right? But I backed off on the sugar, although. Okay, well, we'll get to the butt part. But if I had to choose, I would definitely have cream rather than sugar. So, having said that, not well, some time ago we discovered the flavored creamers. Excuse me. I love them. At first it was only like 7-Eleven had the flavored creamers, and then the stores. Now the stores have them all over the place. You got all kinds of flavors, and Oreo flavor and cinnamon pumpkin. Excuse me for 1 minute. Okay, that's better. Yeah, so I'm a hazelnut or just vanilla kind of guy for the coffee. I mean, sometimes I'll try something. I mean, if I'm at, I say, the 7-Elevens here they got like the 50 different kinds of flavoring stuff you can put in, and you can do whatever you want. But I still seem to end up with the hazelnut. I don't know why. That's just me. But those have a sweetener in them, so I mean, it's I'm not adding any sugar, but when you put the creamer in, it adds a flavor. We used to, we had the drip coffee maker. That we had that for years and years, and we always used to make coffee like that. But when me and the wife got married, we got a that I didn't even know what it was. It's a French press. I don't know if you know what a French press is. It's a way to make coffee. You put the coffee grounds in it, pour boiling water in there, and you let it steep. And then it's like a little screen that you press down to separate the coffee grounds from the water, and you have coffee. I didn't even know what it was. We hadn't used it for probably 16 years, 17, 18 years of our marriage. It just kind of sat there as a gift. I didn't know what it was. And then finally I figured, it's like, what? So I don't know. It's one of those things I don't know what prompted me to try it, or said let's use this thing. But we did. So I think we might have got we got so I don't know. We ended up with some coffee beans and a little coffee grinder. Oh, that's how it happened. So at first we got a little a coffee grinder, a little mini coffee grinder for a gift, and some coffee beans. So we were using that in the drip, the regular coffee drip machine, and that worked fine. But it was a little tricky because because when you're grinding it, you can grind it super fine or not. You can leave it coarse or whatever. And if you ground it too fine in the coffee maker, the water would basically stop the water from running through it. It's too fine. It basically plugged the filter, and we had some overflow problems. So I think at that point I said, well, let's try this French press. And oh my goodness, does that ever make a difference when you see a drip? Well, I'm just talking now, but the drip coffee maker drips hot water on top of it, and it runs through it, and it goes into a pot and it keeps it hot. Whereas a French press, you're steeping, or the coffee grounds are soaking in the hot water, releasing the flavor, and kind of just, instead of, they spend more time in the hot water, is what I'm trying to say. So the flavor is, well, you get a stronger coffee depending on how long you want it to sit, right? Of course, and soak. But yeah, I just don't jump out of there. So yeah, the flavor of the coffee is way different, way better, richer, more. It takes more flavor of the actual coffee. And of course, a coffee bean, if you're grinding it yourself, you got a freshly ground coffee beans, and the aroma and the smell of that, and it's something we have. We do it kind of like a special. It's not an everyday thing for us, actually. That now here we come to the part where it might anger some coffee aficionados. Our everyday coffee routine is instant coffee. Yes, I said instant coffee. And it doesn't matter what kind, really, although we do have a favorite. I find that Folgers that's the one we get here. I don't know if that's available everywhere else, but that one seems to be the one that we like the most. And Now, going back, I remember instant coffee to be something, well, along the lines of the last, of like camp coffee, right? It's like your last, I mean, this is what you got. If you want coffee, this is it. If you don't like it, well, too bad, that's all we got. Instant coffee. But I don't know about you, but it seems like the quality of instant coffee over the past, well, I don't know, since the last time we tried it, has vastly improved. It is no longer the, you know, the scrapings of the bottom scrapings of the barrel kind of tasting coffee. It's actually pretty good. I'm drinking right now. It's that, and you throw some of that flavored creamer in there, and it's pretty good actually. And it's fast too, right? You boil some water, you throw some of that in there, and you got coffee. It's quite the yeah. Anyway, so that's my coffee story. We will have more coffee trivia, or not trivia, information, perhaps when we do the if our coffee turns out that we get some coffee in our little experimental strip there. And we're almost done this millet, so I'm not gonna yapper through the rye there. We'll probably do a little fancy dancy time lapse thing there through the through most of the rye, or I'll just do it on my own. There's a fair bit of rye there, and it's just me, so it'll just be me going back and forth and harvesting rye. But I wanted to do this so we could see the totals with the weeds. So you can see there's a few spattering of weeds here and there. And I will record our harvest here, and then we'll do another. I'm gonna have to remember to miss this spot like I did here. And again, in spring, we'll cultivate in spring to knock down most of the weeds that, like we did with this one. We did a cultivate in spring and then seed it on there, so that, because if I cultivate now, well then again it doesn't matter, right? Because when you seed, it knocks out the weeds. You know what? That's what you call an epiphany. Or, you know, someone's probably, it's like, well, why don't you do this? I mean, you probably thought of it like ages ago. Oh dear. We'll have plenty of time. I guess I could even have the oh man, multitasking, right? I'm just like bragging about how much I multitask, and I'm not thinking I'm gonna get some workers on these fields, and at least this one, because these other ones were merging, remember? So those are going to be a little bit of a project this autumn, I would think. We'll have time this autumn, because spring is winter we can't do any cultivating or plowing, and spring is going to be busy planting, so autumn can be spent cultivating. So let's see here, we got 102. Ooh, that's pretty good. Okay, I'm going to have to write that down in my little notebook. Didn't Blue's Clues Steve have a notebook? Right? Yeah. You remember that show? I was a little old for that, but I think my daughter definitely watched Blue's Clues. She liked that. So millet was 102,383 with weeds. Okay. And this is field 35. All right. So now that I have that recorded, I'm going to go dump this off. I'm going to go get in the other one, our other trailer. We're gonna dump that off, and we're going to. Whoa. Well, you know what? We're gonna end the episode there because I've talked and yapped so long. It has eaten up a bunch of time. So, yeah, we're we're gonna end it here. We're going to whoops, start that up, dump that off, and right there. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. We got the harvest started. We talked about coffee, and although we didn't do anything with the coffee, give it a like, subscribe if you haven't. Yeah, so here we are, Old Kiwi Farm, harvesting. We haven't got to the rye yet, but we will next. What was I going to say? That's early. It's early for me. Anyways, oh yeah, of course. Remember, it's a game, so just have fun with it, will you? Okay, for me, right? Okay, awesome. Till next time, bye for now.